Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So today we are doing our pick a card reading for your year of 2026. There's not a whole lot to explain for this one. I do have a little breakdown written out that I will show you once you've chosen your group. But basically, we're going to be seeing what the energies are like for you in 2026, the events and changes coming your way. We're going to look at some different areas of your life and get some guidance for you at the end. So there are 4 groups to choose from today, and each group has a different crystal heart. So I'm going to show you each of these hearts up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Dumortierite. Number 2 is white agate. Number 3 is flower jasper. And number 4 is Trolleite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Dumortierite heart, this is going to be a reading all about your year of 2026. So this is our breakdown for today's reading. It's actually a little bit similar to how we do the monthly predictions with just a bit more details because it's for a whole year. So we are going to see 3 main themes, significant events or changes that are coming your way in the year of 2026. And then we're going to look at different areas of your life. So we'll look at your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. We are going to see what time of the year is going to be particularly blessed or lucky for you. And we'll also see what time of the year could be a little bit challenging for you. And we're going to see why, like what is happening around each of these times so that you can prepare for that. And then we are going to finish off the reading with advice and messages from your guides as you prepare to step into this new year. So that's how the reading's gonna go today. Thank you so much for being here, whether you are just coming across my channel or you've been watching these readings throughout the year of 2025 or maybe even longer than that. I am so happy to have you here and thank you for making this another wonderful year. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we are starting off with some major arcana to see the 3 main themes or changes of your year 2026. We are starting off with the Fool. Then we have Strength. And we have the Tower. Okay, so the Fool is a pretty cool card to come out as the first one. I would say a big theme for you in the year 2026 is a clean slate. And I just saw 222, by the way, so that could be a significant angel number for you. Maybe it's like a confirmation. The Fool feels like you are taking a leap of faith and starting a chapter completely fresh. The feeling that I get when I see the Fool is that your 2026 is probably going to look very different from your 2025. Rather than continuing to work on and build the things that you had previously been working on, you may be completely pivoting into something different. So that's one way that I can interpret this. And the other one is starting something that you had been thinking of starting for years. And you're like, you know what? 2026 is the year that I'm finally just going to take the leap. I'm going to take the plunge. I feel like whatever this is, there's a lot of unknowns surrounding it. And in the past, you may have been more cautious about that, trying to plan ahead, trying to do a lot of research, maybe watching a lot of readings about like, what will happen if I take this step? Is this gonna go well? But I feel like your attitude in 2026 is more like, F it, I'm gonna find out. I'm going to take the leap and find out. I'm going to take a risk. You're making peace with the fact that no matter what new journey you start, there's going to be unknowns. There's going to be uncertainty. There's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be an element of risk involved, but it's worth it. So you're finally taking that leap of faith. And I think this strength theme kind of ties into that because it's like seeing how strong you actually are. This actually looks like facing a fear to me, this imagery, because you can see the lion is roaring, baring its teeth. It looks very scary. And the lady's just walking right up to the lion like, shh, stop it. I'm in control. So you're kind of showing your fears who's boss this year. I just saw 444 as well. You can imagine standing at the edge of the cliff. It's kind of scary. You don't know what this path holds for you. You may have to leave something behind in order to pursue this path, and that's kind of scary. But this feels like you're just going to go for it and show your fears like you are not in control. You do not get to control my life. You do not get to keep me small. I'm going to show myself that I can do it. Then we have the Tower. So yeah, you may have to end something, walk away from something in order to take this leap of faith. And it's interesting because a keyword that I do associate with the Tower sometimes is starting from scratch. So it's like if you were writing a book and you were halfway done and then you're like, no, I'm not feeling it anymore. I actually want to write this other book that I'm really passionate about and my gut is telling me I should go with this. And you just scrap it or set it to the side and start completely new. That can be scary too because our brain starts to say like, oh, what if I just wasted a bunch of time? I've come so far. There could be a part of you that is afraid of letting go of the progress that you made or that is worried you are making a mistake. It's very easy to walk away from something when there's nothing there for you. It's a lot harder to walk away when it's still giving you something. So you may be walking away from something in 2026 that is not objectively bad and it's not objectively empty. It is giving you something, it is providing you something, and you may like enjoy it to some extent too, but the other side of this leap is calling to you. And I have this feeling like I have to do it. I have to see what happens if I pursue this path. I just need to know what would happen if I really gave it a shot and gave it my all. Otherwise, I will always be wondering what if. So the more I sit with this energy, this feels like something you've been thinking about doing for years. It's something you're passionate about. And for some of you, you may even feel like it's a part of your calling in this lifetime. So this is the year where you overcome the fear of the unknown. And this is the year where you get the courage to walk away from some aspects of your old life. And like I said, I feel like 2026 is going to look very different. There's going to be a lot more adventure. And I feel like 2026 is going to be more fast-paced. So you are going to accomplish more in 2026 than you've maybe accomplished in the past 5 years. I think at the end of 2026, you're going to look back and be like, how the heck did I do all that in 1 year? I'm also hearing the word unrecognizable. So you at the end of 2026 will probably look unrecognizable to the you right now in the best way. Like you went through so much evolution in such a short time. And I know this is not really the textbook meaning of the Tower, but when I look at this lightning in the sky, it looks like inspiration. It looks like inspiration and it looks like an adventure that you commit to and that starts to gain momentum very quickly. And this feeling that you have inside of you of like, I have to do it, I have to do it. I feel like that's definitely coming from your gut and your intuition. You're like a surfer that's like, I have to get up now because the wave is coming. I have to stand up now and surf this wave. I cannot let it pass me by. So this is very exciting, group one. We're gonna go ahead and get some oracle cards to clarify this message. By the way, this tarot deck was kindly sent by an artist named Katerina. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful work with us. Hi, this is me from the future. I just wanted to mention that while I do just have the major arcana here, the deck is going to be a full 78 card tarot deck. If you guys like this deck and you want to support Katerina, if you're interested in getting your own copy, I will have a link down below so you can check it out. Okay, we have Purge, okay? We have some flames. So fire represents passion and creativity. It also represents purging and transformation. Cleanse, clear, release. If you have fire placements, I feel like they're really gonna be popping in the year 2026. They're really going to be featured. We do have Saturn and Neptune being in fire signs for the duration of 2026. I believe they'll be entering Aries like at the start of 2026 and staying there. So if you do have placements in fire signs, Saturn and Neptune could be interacting with them in a favorable way. We have stability, security, grounding, strength, and safety. And we have union, unity, oneness, merging. That's amazing. So this purge definitely feels like that taking a leap of faith. Purge with the tower, it kind of feels like burning something to the ground. So not to be dramatic, but if you do walk away from a certain aspect of your old life, it may either be difficult or impossible to go back. In fact, of course, this is going to vary from person to person, but you may actually purposely set it up so that you can't go back. And I just saw 1111. So it's like you telling yourself, we're not going to make a plan B. You know, it's bold. It's bold. It's risky. You may tell yourself, like, I don't want to make it easy for myself to go back. I'm going to commit to this new path. I'm going to settle my roots here. And I have a feeling you're going to be building stability very quickly because of your level of commitment. And then this union, I feel like this is you merging with the version of you you want to be. This is you merging with your calling. I also think this year, you're feeling more alive. There's this feeling of you're truly living rather than just surviving day to day. You are really seizing each and every day. I'm hearing that expression like today is the first day of the rest of your life. And I know to some extent we can feel like this on January 1st, like this is the start of a new era. I'm gonna make this my year. But I have to tell you, something feels different about this year. Like this is the year where you're really doing it, where you're really committing and proving to yourself. This is not about proving to anybody else that you can do it. It's about proving to yourself. Like, hey me, I got you. Hey me, I'm gonna make your dreams come true. Don't you worry. Just watch me, trust me. This is about you proving to yourself and building trust with yourself. So, what was I saying? Union. Merging with the version of you you've always wanted to be, with your calling. This could be union with a counterpart. If you resonate with that, maybe we'll get into that. And actually, yes, we will, because we're about to look at your love life and relationships. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna make some room for the next cards. Let's see what's going on in the different areas of your life. So I'm gonna pull one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships. Your career and studies. And your spiritual and personal growth. Okay, and I actually have different oracle decks for each area to fit with the different themes. We're using a lot of different decks today, and they're all indie decks. Okay. An oracle card for your love life and relationships. An oracle card for your career and studies. And an oracle card for your spiritual and personal growth. Perfect. So let's get into it, starting off with your love life and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the Knight of Cups. And for your oracle card, we have Queen, self-worth, self-care, and feminine power. So I do have to say, a relationship that is really going to be blossoming in the year 2026 is your relationship with yourself. This makes a lot of sense. Also, I'm noticing these two people have like kind of tight curls in their hair, so that could be significant to some of you. And kind of the same length too, like shoulder length curly hair. Your relationship with yourself is really going to be blossoming, as well as your relationship with your feminine energy. And I'm hearing something like you are no longer turning to society to tell you what your feminine energy is supposed to be or what femininity looks like, but rather letting your own personal, unique feminine energy show you the way. And if that's different than what society says is quote unquote feminine, then that's fine, because they don't get to decide that. You get to express it in your own unique way. You could be, this is very literal, you could be taking more baths, more self-care baths in the year of 2026, or just resting more intentionally. And I kind of feel like you have to, because if there's one thing I picked up from the first part of your reading, I do think you are going to be quite busy and on the go, working really hard. And so rest kind of becomes a non-negotiable. Like, I need to make sure that I don't get too fatigued, that I don't burn out, that I don't get sick. So it's almost like, oh, this is really nice, because rather than this being a situation where you become so busy and therefore you forget to take care of yourself, it's actually you're becoming so busy and thus it is inspiring you to take care of yourself more. You know, you're like, I can't burn out. I have things to do. I can't get sick. I have things to do. So you start to take your health more seriously. You start to take your sleep more seriously. You start to take your stress reduction more seriously. It's like, I have to. I feel like you're really committing to yourself. And I also think probably you will take your social boundaries more seriously. Yeah. Self-care not as a luxury, but as like a priority. That's another theme for 2026. I also just noticed it says, "You're doing great, sweetie." I don't know if it's going to focus, but you are doing great, sweetie. And you've done a great job in 2025. You will continue to do a great job in 2026. With the Knight of Cups, when it comes to your love life, I do think this year is going to be very sweet. And the Knight of Cups is a strong sign that there is someone coming towards you in love. So that makes this union card make a whole lot of sense. If you are single at the time of watching this, you are likely to enter into a relationship during the year 2026. If you are already in a relationship, then this could be the year that you get engaged or get married or move things to the next level with your partner, whatever that looks like for you and your unique relationship. But the Knight of Cups is a strong sign of someone coming towards you and making an offer. And the way the Knight of Cups moves, it is slow and steady, but in a way that feels natural and warm and cozy. This is not a slowness that talks of delays or blockages. It's more just like things are moving at a leisurely pace and we're not in any rush. So if you were meeting someone new, this is often the type of person who, as soon as you meet them, you just feel like warm and safe, and then your feelings grow gradually. It's not like you get hit by a ton of bricks? Like intense feelings, intense roller coaster. That's not really the vibe. It feels gentle. It feels gentle, it feels warm, it feels supportive. There's also, I don't know if this is like the actual meaning of knights or something I just made up, but whatever. Something that I pick up sometimes with knights is people within your age group, like people of a similar age. So this could be a sign that you will be meeting a partner who is around the same age as you, like maybe within 5-ish years. And also you could be making more friends with people who are in your age group or people who are at the same stage of life as you so that you can support each other. But I want to use the word sweet for your love life and relationships. Like, I think this year it's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to be pretty drama-free. I think you're probably going to be leaving drama in 2025. Like, you're going to drop it off December 31st, step into the new year, drama-free. Or maybe you're like, oh, honey, I cut off my drama relationships years ago, which good for you if you did that. And I can confirm that the drama will not find you in 2026. It will not be able to find your location. It will miss you, quite simply. Something about water is coming up again. Like, obviously, cups are related to the element of water. This person's in a bath. So you could have a significant other or meet someone who has water in their big three or water in their Venus sign. Or your friends, you could have friends who are water signs who are really significant in this new year. And again, this could be literal, like spending more time by the water. Or in baths, something like that, or bathing in bodies of water. Yes, is there anything else? Let's go into, also, did I mention the number 34? So that could be significant. Someone could be 34 years old. Or March 4th, because that would make you a Pisces in Western astrology, and that is a water sign. And April 3rd, you would be a Pisces in sidereal astrology. Okay, anyway, let's get into your cards for career and studies. So your tarot card is Justice. I literally want to go like, yes! So clearly there's some kind of victory going on. When I see the Justice card, I'm like, yes! So you're getting what you deserve. You're getting the success and recognition and victory that you deserve, finally. I really like Justice for career because Justice has this feeling of equal, like cause and effect. It's objective. We're assessing the facts and coming to an objective conclusion. So this means in your career, you're literally going to get from it whatever you put in. So, it's going to be fair. You're not going to get like handouts. You're not going to get special treatment. And maybe you don't want to. Like with Justice, it's like you're earning your opportunities. You're earning your recognition. which is so much more meaningful. And in the same way, this means you're not going to receive any unfair treatment in the sense of someone like blocking you or sabotaging you or not giving you the credit you deserve. Like none of that. It's like you get exactly what you deserve. The opportunities you receive are proportionate to your skill level and the amount of effort you put in, and in that way, it's predictable. You know what you're getting. And you're worthy of some victory. And it's like, finally, I want to say the word finally. You're finally getting the recognition you deserve. You're finally getting the exposure you deserve, I want to say, getting the opportunities you deserve. Justice feels a lot like hard work paying off. This can be legal matters working in your favor. So for those of you who are working through any legal issues, definitely feel free to claim that message. It can indicate long-term commitments with another party, like signing a contract. I just heard getting signed. I don't know, like getting signed to an agency, getting signed to a label. That obviously won't be for everyone, but take that if it resonates for your situation. But, entering into a favorable contract, a favorable business partnership, that's definitely a meaning of the Justice card. But yeah, I think the main meaning here is finally getting what you deserve. This can also indicate, and that makes sense with this self-care card, a healthy work-life balance. For your Oracle card, we have Love Leopard, Romance, and Passion with the number 33. That'd be kind of cool if like some of you are 33 going into 2026 and then you're going to turn 34, because we have the numbers 33 and 34. You're going to do something that you love, something that you're passionate about. Romance, the number 33, and Justice, which can talk about partnerships. Some of you could be either doing some kind of business venture with a significant other or with a spouse, or you could be meeting your future spouse or future partner through the work that you do. Yeah, and also, are leopards fast, or is that only cheetahs? But anyway, leopard made me think of a cheetah, and then I thought about speed. So I'm really feeling like you're going through a fast period of growth this year, and that will definitely apply to your career. And when it comes to you getting what you deserve, I feel like you've already been deserving of so much success and recognition, and 2026 is the year where life finally catches up. So everything that you've been owed, or like everything that you've earned for yourself, is all catching up to you in 2026. And with romance here, okay, interesting interpretation that just came through for some of you, because I'm thinking of like the romantic period of music and art. You could be a student of that or a scholar of that, or be inspired by that era. Or there could be something about, you could be working on a romance story, like a book or a movie that has a romance story in it, or Roman something. Or you are romanticizing life through your career, or something about your career feels romantic, and that could just be because of the passion that you feel towards it. There's actually a strong Venusian energy, because obviously romance and passion is Venusian. The number 3 is related to the Empress. That's Venusian too. Justice is also Venusian. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are artists, or in some way the work you do beautifies the world or beautifies people or their lives. And I think that was everything I wanted to say. Oh, also, Venus is the planet of money. So, I mean, to have her influence show up so strongly in your career, that seems like a very, very good sign. And yeah, a Taurus or a Libra person could be significant to your career. Finally, let's take a look at your cards for spiritual and personal growth. We have the 9 of Wands, and I saw 2828 as I held up this card. And we have glass box, all eyes on you, scrutiny, entrapment, and attention. So I feel like this is going to tie into the message about you gaining a lot of recognition. You are sort of catapulting into the success that you've always wanted in the year 2026. With that comes a lot of recognition and visibility. And with that can also come scrutiny. You're receiving a lot of attention during the year 2026, either on you or on your work, on your creations. And part of your spiritual and personal growth, I think, is working through the mixed feelings that you have about that. It's interesting too, like this 9 of Wands is associated with the sign of Sagittarius, which is very expansive. So your presence is growing, or for some of you, it could be like your audience is growing, or the number of people who know about you is increasing in some way, whether this is in your particular field, in your community, or even on a larger scale. Or more people are talking about you. Another way that I could interpret this is like if you're making big moves in your career, this doesn't necessarily have to mean like you're becoming famous and everyone knows you, but it could mean like you're making big moves in your career and now more of your family and friends are spending time talking about you and focusing on you in a way that maybe they weren't before. So feel free to claim either of those interpretations. I know that like not everybody is gaining huge amounts of visibility. That's probably just for a few of you watching this group. But you know, more people are paying attention to what you're doing and more people are focusing on you. And I'm sort of picking up on this energy where maybe in the past you felt like no one was paying attention or like no one cared what you were doing or what you had to say. And now that people are actually caring and watching you, there's a pressure there. You feel like, oh, now I have to perform. Now I have to actually do shit, you know? And it's just you have mixed feelings about that. And that's very normal and healthy. And so I think this aspect of your spiritual and personal growth is about holding space for those seemingly contradictory emotions and recognizing that it's okay to feel both at the same time. You're allowed to feel both at the same time. And it's not weird to have mixed feelings about it. It's actually very normal. I'm hearing growing pains. Like it kind of comes with the growth that you're experiencing. And another thing I'll say about Sag energy, since it's present here, is that it does talk about optimism and positivity. So, you know, there's good and bad to the growth that you're experiencing, but I think ultimately the good does outweigh the bad, and ultimately I think you'll find a way to focus on the good. And then the more traditional meaning of the 9 of Wands is like, hang in there, you're almost there. So I really think you're very close to achieving a big goal. And it can also talk about being guarded, which, because we're talking about attention here, maybe this is about maintaining a certain level of privacy, or as an aspect of your personal growth, thinking about who gets access to you and how much access do they get to you. Because that's really a balancing act too. You want to be available to people, but you don't want to overextend yourself and you don't want to overshare. But at the same time, you don't want to shut yourself out completely. So yeah, I think that's going to be something kind of on your mind. Like, what do I do with this attention that I'm now receiving? It's something that you're kind of not used to, and like it's really exciting and fulfilling, but it can also feel like pressure sometimes, or it can feel a bit like, ooh, that's too much. Ooh, a boundary's being violated at times. So learning how to navigate that, I think, will be a big theme in your spiritual and personal growth. And oh my gosh, is that another person with shoulder length curly hair? Actually, a lot of people have shoulder length hair in these cards. And a lot of people have curly hair. Let me know if you have this hair, or if you're thinking of like cutting your hair to shoulder length or growing your hair to shoulder length. That would be very interesting. Okay, so let's find out a blessed time of the year for you. By the way, this is more specifically a Sag moon, so you could have a Sag moon, or someone with a Sag moon could be significant to you. Ooh, okay, 7 just flipped over. Let's take that. 7 and 1. I want to say July 1st, which is very specific, but let's say the beginning of July in general. That is going to be a blessed time for you. And what exactly is happening around that time? What's happening in early July? We have the number 10, so that corresponds to your 10th house. Something exciting is happening in your career around the beginning of July. We also have Saturn, so your career could be becoming more stable. You could be getting offered more responsibility. You start to notice that people are trusting you more. So yes, giving you bigger responsibilities, but also bigger opportunities. And we have the sign of Leo, which makes a lot of sense because we've been talking about you having eyes on you, you gaining recognition. Some of you really could be in the spotlight. Again, that's not going to be for everyone, but if that's something you're striving for, that could be happening around this time. These together, it kind of feels like, oh my God, like shit's getting serious now. Things are really getting serious now. So, you know, signing big contracts or committing to big long-term projects or working with big names in the industry. It's like shit is serious now. We're not just playing around. We mean business. Saturn means business. And Leo is definitely talking about getting attention, being in the spotlight, still also talking about passion and creativity. So yeah, this feels career related for sure. Early July. If you have Saturn in Leo, don't even know what years that is off the top of my head, but if you do have Saturn in Leo, maybe the transiting Saturn will be trining your natal Saturn. Also check, this is for my astrology people, check what Saturn's doing throughout the year and see if it's like going into your 10th house or maybe aspecting something in your 10th house. It could be trining Leo placements you have at some point in the year. And that will be beneficial for you. Some of you guys could also be a Leo midheaven. Okay, let's look at a challenging time. A challenging time for you in the year 2026. We have 29. And we have August. Okay, so August 29. Again, that's very specific. So maybe we can say the end of August is going to be a challenging time for you. And interesting that these are not that far apart. So let's see what is happening at the end of August that's going to be challenging. We have the 8th house, we have Libra, and we have the Sun. There's going to be some creative differences between you and another party that you have contractual obligations to. That's like really specific, but you know, the sign of Libra is about partnerships. The 8th house is like joint assets. You know, you're kind of merged together in some way. You have to work together. You have to rely on each other. And then the Sun, this is your will, your willpower, your creativity. It's also your ego. So you could be working with someone who has like, who has a big ego. Or no, this is just like ego clashing. I mean, you could be working with someone who has a big ego, but it feels like egos clashing or creative differences clashing, or just your will and your vision is not in agreement, but you're in some kind of obligation to each other. It's not so simple to just be like, oh, we disagree, so let's part ways. No, it's not like that. We have to keep going together. We want to keep going together. We have to see this thing through to the end. So we got to figure things out. I kind of stumbled when I said we want to keep going together. So that might not be the case for all of you. Some of you might be wanting to get out of a contract, but at least until the end of the contract, you have to find a way to make it work. Hopefully it's the alternative interpretation that you do want to work things out with this other party, and it's just kind of difficult to find a common ground. But yeah, I think that's going to be the challenge around this time. So finally, let's get some advice for my group number ones as you prepare to step into 2026. All of the resources you need will flow towards you when you need them. No need to worry. Allow yourself to fall apart. Only then will you be able to start rebuilding a truer version of you. And a blockage is unprocessed emotions. These are so perfect. We talked about you taking a leap of faith this year. So a piece of advice from your guides is don't look too far into the future, because whatever you may need in the future will be provided to you in the future. Just focus on today. Just focus on the moment you're in. Focus on what you can see right now and what you can do right now. Rest assured that we would never hide from you information that you need right now. So if something is not being revealed to you, it's because it's not relevant to the current moment, or you don't need to know this yet. We're not going to reveal too much about the future and overwhelm you with information that you don't need to be worried about yet. And we're not going to give you everything that you're going to need along the journey right now, because then your backpack is going to be too heavy. You don't have to carry with you what you need this month and what you need next month and what you need in 3 months. We'll give it to you little by little when the time is right, so as to not weigh you down or overwhelm you. Allow yourself to fall apart. Only then will you be able to start rebuilding a truer version of you. If that's not the Tower and the Fool, I don't know what is. We're talking about like letting something go, purging with the fire, and starting from scratch. So I don't know if you're able to do this, but if you're able to take some time off before this year ends, assuming you're watching this in 2025, and just kind of recalibrate. It's almost like stop everything and just regroup and reflect. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to fall apart, to stop everything, to just take a moment for yourself. And then we have a blockage is unprocessed emotions. So your guides are hinting that most of the blockages you will come up against on your journey are less about external circumstances and more about things of an emotional nature. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you can't move forward, there may be a tiny voice inside of you, a tiny part of you that's saying it's not safe to move forward. Even if your conscious mind so desperately wants to move forward, if you're feeling stuck, something in you is saying it's not safe. And it will take stillness and silence to figure out what part of you is saying that and why. Yeah. I'm excited for you, Group 1. So these are all the messages I'm seeing for you for your year of 2026. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. If you're watching this in 2025, I hope you have a great rest of the year, and I'm wishing you an amazing 2026. I know you are going to be successful, and it's going to be an awesome time. And thank you so much for your support and making 2025 a great year for me. And please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch full-length pick-a-card readings that are exclusive to the memberships. And my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to everyone who appeared in this reading, your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the white agate, this is going to be a reading all about your year of 2026. So here is the little breakdown that I made for today's reading. It's sort of similar to the monthly prediction videos that we do, but with more steps because this is for a whole year. So we are going to start by seeing 3 main themes, significant events or changes that are coming your way in the year 2026. And then we are going to look at specific areas of your life. So we're going to see what is happening in your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. We are going to see what will be the most blessed and lucky time of the year for you, and what time of the year might be challenging for you. And we're going to see why, like what is happening around each of these times so that you can be ready. And then we're going to finish off the reading with advice and messages from your guides as you prepare to step into this new year. So that's how the reading's going to go today. Thank you so much for being here. Whether you're just stumbling upon my channel now, or you've been watching my readings throughout the year of 2025, or maybe even for longer, I'm so grateful to have you here, and thank you for making this such a wonderful year. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with a deck of some major arcana. And let's see what the 3 main themes are for my group number 2s. We have the Death card. We have the Sun. And we have the Hierophant. Okay, so with death being our first card, there is definitely a theme of transformation and rebirth that is happening for you. There could be a very significant era of your life that is coming to an end. Death endings are pretty big and significant. So just for an example, like let's say the end of an era is that you're leaving a job. This wouldn't be a job that you had had for a few months. It would be like a job that you had had for many, many years that was a big part of your life, that shaped who you are, that gave you meaningful experiences. It's those kind of big end of an era moments. So you could be going through something like that in the year 2026 and maybe taking some time to process that. And there's a part of your identity that is now going to be transforming. And so part of your year of 2026 could be, getting used to this new life and getting used to this new you. Oh my gosh, I just noticed something. So this is not going to be for everyone, of course, but the sun can talk about children. So for some of you, take this as confirmation, you could be having a child in the year 2026. And the reason I just thought of that is because, the end of an era and welcoming a new version of you, if you're becoming a parent, that's like a rebirth in your own life. It's a very big end of an era and beginning of a new one. And it's very like, I need time to get used to my new role and my new identity. So I can definitely see that being the case for some of you. Like this rebirth is you becoming a parent. The Hierophant also talks about big commitments. So some of you could be having a child or getting married or becoming homeowners. There is sort of this overarching theme of making big commitments, possibly settling down and becoming a new version of yourself, especially one where you feel like you're taking on a new responsibility or you're becoming more mature in some way. There's a growing up or a leveling up that is happening if I look at all of these together. I do think that this year is going to be very fun and wholesome. So if you don't resonate with having children, a theme of this year could be you entering more into a childlike energy. It could also be that a sibling or a friend or someone close to you is having a child, and so you're spending more time around children and around that childlike energy. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of time for play and fun and leisure during this year, and also creativity with the Sun card. Whatever this new era is that is coming, I do think you're really excited about it. And the Sun feels like new inspirations coming in as well. And intentionally making time for fun, making that a priority in your life. Something that could be happening this year, and probably that's already been starting to happen for you, Group 2, is sort of freaking out at how fast time goes by and how fast life goes by. You or someone close to you could be having a milestone birthday this year. So for example, turning 30, 40, 50, like a new decade, or maybe you have a child who is starting kindergarten this year or starting high school this year, and there's this feeling of, oh my God, where did the time go? I still feel like I'm a teenager, and what happened? There's this feeling of just feeling that time is going by really quickly. And so I think with that comes a desire to cherish each day more and to make time for fun and making memories with your loved ones. You may pick up new hobbies during this year. as a way to practice mindfulness or as a way to check off some bucket list items I'm hearing. Like, let me finally start that hobby that I've always wanted to try. Let me take that class that I've always wanted to do, because life is short and this has been on my list of things I want to do for a long time, so I might as well try it. And you could also be, I want to say, taking more photos, documenting and making memories more. And there could be a focus on spending quality time with your loved ones. And then we also have the Hierophant here. So like I said, I do think making big commitments is a theme for you in 2026. There could be some kind of education or training that you are going through. It's funny, I was just giving an example of taking a class. So things like starting a new hobby or learning a new skill seem to be coming up, and taking that more seriously in the sense of making it a regular part of your schedule and committing to doing it in the long term. This could also be about your spiritual journey and like connecting more to your higher self. So there's a lot of nice energies going on here. We're going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards to clarify these messages. And I just want to mention that this tarot deck was sent to us by an artist named Katerina. So thank you very much for sharing your beautiful work with us. I have the major arcana here, but it is going to be a full 78 card tarot deck. So if you like this deck, if you want to support her and get your own copy of the full deck when it's ready, I'm going to put the link down below so that you can check it out. All right. Let's get some oracle cards to clarify this energy. We have individuality. Yeah, I feel like this end of an era, it has to do with your identity, like how you identify yourself. You are gaining a new role. So like this could be professionally, like you're taking on a new title, or yeah, like becoming a parent, becoming a spouse. It's like you objectively don't have the same identity or the same role anymore, and sort of learning to embrace this new unique version of you that is emerging. Also, I'm just looking at, it kind of looks like the sun rays extending, and I just imagine them melting the snow. Some ice is melting, some snow is melting. Someone close to you could be, or maybe you, are becoming more affectionate and more soft and maybe more emotionally expressive. Something has softened you, something has cracked your heart open, or something has cracked open the heart of someone close to you. I think that this is a year where you're going to see your existing bonds becoming much deeper. So, feeling even closer to your existing friends, to your family, to your partner or significant other. Oh, and we have love too, exactly. Exactly. Universal unconditional love, source. Your relationships are really showing you what unconditional love feels like. Again, this is making me think of becoming a parent because you have unconditional love for your child. Let me know if that message resonates for you. But regardless of what your situation is, I think that your existing bonds are going to become a lot deeper, and there's going to be more affection that exists within them. There is this overarching theme too of just realizing how precious of a gift life is and how precious each and every day is. So I could definitely see you making more of an effort to reach out to your loved ones and remind them that you love them, making more time to spend like quality time together. I think your support system is feeling very strong in 2026 as well. There could be a lot of gatherings family reunions, reunions among friends, people really showing up to support each other. You could also see this in your community, people coming together for a shared goal. And we have masculine, direction, movement, protection, and giving. And when I look at this imagery, it feels like this energy that is laser focused toward a goal and taking initiative to make it happen. Okay. We're gonna pull some cards for, oh, by the way, you could be flying somewhere in 2026. If I take this kind of literally, like taking a trip by plane. Some of you are also working on procrastination, because I have this feeling of, why put off to tomorrow what you can do today? This masculine energy has a feeling of, let's decide what we want to do and let's do it. Let's get it done. Okay, let's look into the specific areas of your life. Something that I just noticed too, all of these major arcana are related to fixed signs. So fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So those could be significant for you. Okay, so for your love life and relationships, we have the Devil. For your career and studies, wow, we have the Nine of Pentacles. For your spiritual and personal growth, we have the Emperor. I'm also going to pull oracle cards for these, so I'll go ahead and do that now. The oracle card for your love life and relationships is reconciliation, reunion, resolution, forgiveness. You have two oracle cards for career and studies. We have the Psychic, intuition and inner knowing. And double rainbow, powerful energy, movement. And for your spiritual and personal growth, we have Earth, the world keeps spinning, completion, fulfillment, success. So let's get into these messages. This is a pretty straightforward one in your relationships. We have the message of reconciliation, reunion, resolution, forgiveness. So if there's someone in your life that you want to get back together with, that you want back in your life, you want to work something out with them, repair your relationship, it's very likely that that's going to happen in the year 2026. It's interesting, when I look at this Devil card, you see that these two beings, they cannot really split up. Even if they're looking in different directions, there's something that always connects them in the end. So some of you could have gone through a situation where you tried to let go of a relationship, you tried to move on from somebody, but at the end of the day, you couldn't forget about them, or it didn't feel right to go separate ways. And I would bet that the other person felt the same way. You know, we tried to pretend that the bond wasn't there or that we could be without each other, but it didn't feel right. And the devil can talk about ego. So I wonder if there's an element of swallowing your pride here, you know, to admit, I miss you, or to admit, I want you, I need you, or I made a mistake, I was wrong, I'm sorry. Whatever it is, one or both of you may be swallowing your pride in order to bring about this reconciliation. That's what I think the devil is referring to here. It's like that egoic aspect of things. And this isn't really a textbook definition of the devil, but it is making me think of commitment, like a big commitment, especially with the Hierophant as well. These two beings are linked together. They're kind of becoming inseparable, or they're committing to stay together. So some of you could be, again, I feel like I'm a broken record, but there's really feelings of getting married or having a family. Or this could also be, if you don't resonate with that, like starting a business with someone or having joint assets with someone. It's like there's something that is merging you together. There's something that is linking you together, and you have to make things work with each other. This is very much giving like 8th house energy. So also for this reconciliation message, I feel like this will especially be the case if there was some third energy that got between the two of you. Like you were fighting over something, or you were fighting over someone, or fighting about someone. You're going to put that aside and say, our bond is more important. So I think there's a lot of commitment in your relationships. I don't necessarily see, first of all, I don't see any kind of flaky, wishy-washy energy around you. I feel like the people who are in your life are here to stay, and you might be making some deeper commitments to these people in the year of 2026. Now, looking into your career and studies, we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is like one of the best cards that you could get in the career section. So your career, your studies, whatever it is that you're working on, you are going to be successful. The 9 of Pentacles can talk about self-employment, and we have the Emperor here too. And the Devil's kind of boss energy too. So a lot of you could be starting or continuing in a self-employed venture and finding success there. If you resonate more with working for someone, working within a company, you are going to be highly appreciated within this company, and you will have a work life that is very balanced and well-rounded. So it's like you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you have a good balance between your work and your personal life and your rest. I am hearing the word generosity. So I feel like you go above and beyond. I feel like you go above your job description, but then you get rewarded extra for that. You could receive bonuses. You could be in an industry where you can receive a lot of tips, or you can even receive gifts where there's a lot of opportunity to make more. I just heard like there's no ceiling, or the ceiling for the income you can make is very high. Like you can keep getting raises, or if it's your own business, you can keep scaling the business. I definitely think you're going to see an increase in your finances this year. And I actually sense some of you going into 2026 being worried that your finances are going to suffer or go down this year, but it's going to be the opposite. So, for example, oh, I'm going to be working less in 2026, so I'm not going to make as much money, or I'm making this big purchase, I'm going through this big life change in 2026, and that's going to be very expensive, so I'm sure my finances are going to take a hit. But in fact, the opposite happens. I do feel like you're going to finish 2026 in a better financial situation than you were at the start, while not being, tired, yes, but not burnt out. I just heard. Yeah, we're going to be tired, but we're going to feel fulfilled, and we're going to feel inspired, and it's going to feel like it was all worth it. You could also be going through some kind of physical transformation. So when you are sort of getting adjusted to your new identity, I think that could also have to do with a way that your appearance has changed or a way that you're feeling called to express yourself differently. And I think that, not that this is the most important thing, but I do think you're going to receive a lot of positive comments and feedback about the ways that you have changed physically. And this is not necessarily related to your career, but I think that your relationship to your body is going to be improving. Probably, yeah, not related to your career unless you're like, I don't know, a model or something, but your guys just wanted to throw that in there right now. This is also really specific, but something just came through about a walking trail or something being walkable. So you could be in a walkable city, or where you live, there's really nice trails to go for a walk, or you can walk to work, which is really nice, or maybe you're even working at home. So you can just, get up and walk to your office. But I had the image of someone stepping out of their workplace and there's beautiful places to walk around. So I know that's really specific. I'm also seeing some kind of river or canal and people are walking along it and it's very pretty. So you could live or work by some kind of river or canal. Yeah. Anyway, oracle cards. We have the Psychic and we have double rainbow. So together this tells me you are going to be receiving synchronicities like crazy when it comes to your career. I just saw 2332 as I said that, which is like a mirroring number, 2332. Look out for synchronicities pertaining to your career. I do feel like your guides and your higher self are helping to nudge you in certain directions and make certain decisions. And those are going to be coming from your own inner voice and your own intuition. If you chose this group, it's pretty likely that you have some psychic abilities, which could be helping to guide you on your career journey. A few of you who chose this group may even use your psychic abilities directly in your career. For example, like doing readings, or you could have some kind of spiritual business, or something about your work has a spiritual element to it. You may notice that you're having a weird sixth sense about things that are going to happen in your career. Like you predicted that a certain coworker would say or do something, or you predicted a problem at the workplace before it happened. The events unfolding within your career directly influence how much you trust your gut feelings and your psychic intuitive hits. Interesting. You may actually see some vision or dream that you've had about your career come to fruition this year. You've already dreamed it. You've already seen it. You've already been receiving signs and synchronicities about it. That's what I'm feeling with these two cards. Okay, so finally, let's move on to your spiritual and personal growth. This is kind of funny to me because I was getting a feeling with the Emperor card and then the Oracle card just really confirmed it. When I saw this little cat taking a nap on his throne, look, group number 2, I don't feel like 2026 is a big year for spiritual and personal growth because you've done enough. That's the feeling that I'm getting. So maybe 2025 or the last several years was just constant like, hey, group 2, time to learn this lesson, time to go through this test, time to grow, time to heal, time to work on yourself. And it's important work, don't get me wrong, but it's tiring. We don't have to do that all the time. So 2026 may be more of a enjoying the fruits of my spiritual labor kind of year. I don't sense a whole lot of like big new tests and big new lessons. If anything, I think your personal growth is focusing on navigating this new era of your life, becoming comfortable with your new identity, claiming your confidence in expressing yourself in this new way. There's also something about you becoming comfortable with receiving praise. There's something about you deflecting praise, like, oh, they're just being nice. They're just saying that. Oh, they don't really mean that. They're saying I'm so amazing, but I'm not that great, you know. And there's a difference between being humble and straight up like dismissing people's positive feedback of you. So that could be one aspect of your personal growth. Becoming comfortable with receiving praise and becoming confident in your new identity and your new role. But for the most part, I feel like this huge throne represents your spiritual victories and how much you already have grown. And the cat's like, I've done a lot and now I'm tired and now leave me alone. Don't bother me with any more tests and lessons this year. I'm here to just enjoy myself. There's enough going on here on earth. I feel like this year in 2026, you will be quite grounded and mindful in your day-to-day 3D life. And this kind of ties into enjoying each and every day. So your focus in 2026 may not be about some big cosmic calling that you have, but more just about enjoying your human vessel. Showing gratitude to your body, showing gratitude to nature and to planet Earth, enjoying time with your family and with your loved ones. And your spiritual practice is less about transcending to higher dimensions and more just about being on Earth and enjoying this incarnation in this moment. And I also feel like there's less focus about figuring out like, what does it all mean? And like the grander scheme of what my soul is doing. There will be times and places for that, but it feels like for the most part this year, you will be focused on, you know, this one moment in space-time, this one human avatar that you are occupying right now, this beautiful physical vessel that you have, this beautiful planet you're on, and just being in the 3D, you know? Yeah, I'm thinking of, I really like this artist. Maybe I'm gonna go get the deck. It's Rainbow Brain Skull. Is this it? Yes, it is. Yeah, this artist is really cool. I follow them on Instagram and I was just thinking about, they made this art and it was this person being like, I want to transcend to a higher dimension. And then the higher being's like, what did you do with the 3 you already have? And I feel like that's your energy this year. Let's pull one from this deck. I think it wanted to be in your reading. We have, there is more where that came from. And then this one fell on my lap. It says, evolve into non-complainer. I just took a moment to find both of these in the guidebook. So I'm gonna show you. This one says, the cosmos are always evolving and so are you. So much more is on the way. One day we will understand exactly what this era was all about and why it needed to happen. And this one says, the highest vibration one can achieve is to be okay with any outcome. Like the monk from all those stories would often say after any bad thing happened, ah, so. Is that Japanese? Ah, so. Anyway, this seems, both of these have a process of evolution and raising your vibration. And the guidebook was talking about, like, there's literally no end to how high you can go and how much you can transcend. And as humans, I think sometimes we feel pressure of like, I need to raise my vibration more, I need to awaken more, I need to be more evolved, I need to kill my ego more. And I think you are just taking a break from that this year and just being a human and just learning to enjoy life as a human and making that your priority. Okay. Let's get into the times of the year. Starting with the time of the year that will be lucky and blessed for you. We have April. The month of April is going to be the luckiest and most blessed time for you. So where did I put my dice? Here they are. What is going to happen in the month of April that is so lucky and blessed? We have the first house. So we've been talking a lot about your identity, and that's literally what the first house represents. Some of you could have your solar return in April. Shout out to my fellow April babies. Or this new era that we've been talking about, you taking on this new identity and this new role, that could be happening in or around the month of April. We have the sign of Sagittarius, which represents growth and expansion. It can also represent things like travel, higher education, and spirituality. So you could be blessed in those areas around this time. And then we have Pluto. So this makes a lot of sense with the Death card and really confirms that this end of an era and beginning of a new era that you're going through, it is more or less permanent. You know, the analogy that I give quite a bit is once a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, it cannot revert back to a caterpillar. It doesn't work that way. So once you go through this transformation, the new version of you is here to stay. But this is coming up in the most lucky and blessed time of the year for you. So I think that this transformation you're going through is truly a blessing. And while it might take some getting used to, I think you're really, really going to fall in love with this new version of you and be extremely grateful that you get to take on this role and express yourself in this way in this lifetime. I'm just noticing the keywords on this card. One of them is not afraid of challenges. So this transformation is a challenge, but it's one that you would choose a million times over. So with that being said, let's see what time of the year is going to be particularly challenging for you. We have 8. And we have 5. So this could make a date August 5th. That's really specific. So I'll say the beginning of August could be a challenging time for you. And let's see what is happening around that time. I just saw 37 as well. Someone who's 37 could be significant. We have 12. Okay, so during this period, first of all, you could just simply be tired. Maybe you're not getting very good sleep around the beginning of August. There could be some interruptions in your schedule, or you're just quite busy. This has a feeling of being in your head. I'm thinking of the Moon card. You could kind of be struggling with confidence during this time. Afraid that you won't be good enough. But it feels, well, actually, let me not say it's an irrational fear, because you have these fears because you care about whatever it is that you're doing. And it's perfectly normal to have these thoughts of like, what if I'm not good enough? So yeah, that's normal. That's not like irrational of you to be worried. It just means you care. But the idea of you not being good enough is not based in reality. I feel like during this period, you may just kind of be in your head, not sleeping very well. You may be going through some kind of brain fog as well. Maybe just not really feeling like yourself. That's the vibe that I'm getting. And with Virgo here, I am getting the sense that you hold yourself to a very high standard. You could be, you know, when Virgo comes up in a challenging energy, it can talk about being overly critical of yourself or being a bit too perfectionistic. So it's like you're feeling the pressure when it comes to something and kind of getting in your head about I'm not doing a good enough job. Maybe kind of, yeah, feeling stressed about it and it's messing with you. That's the vibe that I'm getting. And then we also have Mars. So yeah, struggling with this feeling of I'm not doing enough. It seems like you're putting some unfair pressure on yourself of I need to be able to do it all and I need to be able to do it all perfectly. And if you're going through a major shift in your life, it's normal that you're not going to be able to keep up the same routine as usual. And actually, a perfect example of this is someone who's becoming a parent. It's like, imagine you're a new parent and then you're beating yourself up of like, I'm not keeping up with my exercise routine. I'm not keeping up with all the housework. And it's like, of course you're not. Like, of course you're not. This new era and this new responsibility is taking up so much of your time and energy, as it should. And it's not realistic or fair or kind to yourself to expect yourself to still be on top of everything and doing it all and executing everything flawlessly. And like, if you're tired, if you're becoming a bit forgetful, if you don't feel like yourself sometimes because you're processing big changes in your life, that's okay. So I feel like this challenge, it's kind of psychological. That's the vibe that the 12th house gives. And it has to do with like high standards that are unfair or pressure that is unfair to you. Feeling like you need to do more or you're not doing it good enough or something like that. Yeah. So finally, let's get some advice and messages from your guides as you prepare to step into this. Wow. You got this. Your guides want you to know that you're doing an amazing job. I would bet that you are birthing something this year. Maybe you're giving birth to an idea, to a business, to a project, something you've been planning. And, you know, when you're doing something in your head and in your imagination, of course you execute it flawlessly. It's in your imagination. When you're doing something in the physical realm, there's gonna be hiccups. That is very, very normal. And your guides just want to remind you that you're doing a fantastic job. Whoop! I almost just dropped half the deck on the floor, but I caught it. Okay, we have even the tiniest drop creates ripples. What I feel called to add to this is progress is progress. It doesn't matter how small it is. And even the smallest efforts add up over time and make a huge difference over time. And we have, oh, don't take yourself for granted. Take this moment, group number 2, to say thank you to yourself, to your body, to your mind, to your heart. I feel like you've worked so hard. You do work so hard for yourself and for others. Yeah, the advice from your guides is show gratitude to yourself. And it says, don't take yourself for granted. If you do, others will too. This may be a year where you start to say no a bit more. I feel like you've been, for a while, saying yes to a lot, extending yourself a lot to help other people. And those people might not even realize that it's taking a toll on you. You sort of give me the vibe of someone who can make it look easy. Even when it's hard, even when you're struggling, you're able to carry your burdens with grace And then people say, oh, look at group 2. They're so strong. They can carry so much. Oh, well, since you're so strong, let me give you this other stuff to carry. And it's okay to say like, hey guys, I'm tired. I can't take that on right now. And I think you will start doing this in 2026, or that's the advice from your guides. Yes, I think those are all of the messages that I have for my group 2s. This is definitely a big year for you. So enjoy your new life, enjoy your new role, enjoy your new self. Make sure you show them gratitude every day and the softness and kindness they deserve. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and a wonderful year of 2026. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I'm wishing you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where we have the extendeds that go up every month. We also have full-length pick a card readings that are exclusive to the memberships, so that's going to be linked down below. And my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to everyone who appeared in this reading, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the flower Jasper, this is going to be your reading all about your year of 2026. So this is the little breakdown that I made for today's reading. It's kind of similar to the monthly prediction readings that we do, but with more steps because this is for a whole year. So we're going to start by seeing 3 main themes, significant events or changes that are coming your way in 2026. Then we're going to look into specific areas of your life. So we'll look at your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. We are going to see what time of the year will be the most blessed and lucky for you, and what time of the year could be particularly challenging for you. And we're going to see why, like what is happening around each of these times. And then we're going to finish off the reading with advice and messages from your guides as you prepare to step into this new year. So that is what the reading is going to look like today. Thank you so much for being here. Yumi-chan. Yumi has risen from her nap. Thank you so much for being here, whether you are just stumbling upon my channel today or you've been watching my readings throughout 2025 or maybe even for longer. I'm really grateful to have you here, and I just want to say thank you for making this a wonderful year for me. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm starting off with some major arcana. And we're going to see what these 3 themes are for you in your year of 2026. Group number 3's main themes. We have the Chariot, we have the Death card, and we have the World. And I think I will have to cover this one because she has boobs. So your 3rd card is the World. That is very interesting because when I saw the Chariot, the first thought that came to my mind was that some of you could be moving. So take that if it resonates. And then with the World here, some of you could actually be moving to quite a faraway place. You could be moving overseas, moving somewhere where a different language is spoken, or at the very least, you could be going on a big trip. Like maybe you're taking a trip to another country or even to another continent in the year 2026. You could be moving homes, you could be doing renovations, like something is changing about your living situation. You could also be, I just heard getting an upgrade to your workplace. So maybe that's like your workplace is being renovated, or some new fancy equipment or furniture is coming in. There's going to be changes to your physical environment that make it more comfortable, more convenient. Why do I want to say more fancy? Maybe we're just getting something that is higher quality, something that is more expensive. You could be replacing furniture or appliances in your home with something nicer and more expensive and just like better quality. I do feel that your daily life is going to become more comfortable. Some of you could be getting a new car as well. Upgrades to like your home, your car, your living situation. That's coming through strongly. And then also there's a theme of travel. Travel, adventure, exploration. That's what I'm feeling with the world. I do feel like many of you are going to be traveling to another country in 2026. Some of you could be learning about the culture of another country, or you could be learning a new language in 2026. Or if you're already studying a new language, 2026 could be a year that you really take it seriously and make some huge improvements. You could even be passing an important exam in that regard. And also, there's a message coming through for those of you who have your own business or are wanting to start your own business. You might find success with an audience or with a client base that is largely in another country, or that is largely worldwide. So that is coming through for some of you. Some of you could also be entering into an international relationship, or like a long distance relationship or something like that. Something that I see sometimes with the World card is like long distance relationships not being long distance anymore. So for those of you who are already in a long distance relationship, this could be an indicator that you will finally be living together in the same place. This could also be a reunion that you're having with friends or family who live far away. So you're bridging the gap of physical distance between you and your loved ones. The world is feeling smaller. And then we have the Death card. So this will be a theme of transformation and rebirth. But it's not being revealed to me yet what this is about. So maybe we're going to have to get into the rest of the reading and see. But can I summarize that into 3 themes? Because I feel like I said a lot of stuff there. Okay, travel, relocation, and foreign languages and cultures. That was 1. Nah, there's more than 3. So I won't try to force it to be 3. Long distance relationships or friendships, going through a reunion or coming closer together. Worldwide success or international success, and upgrades to your living or working spaces. I think that's the main points of what I said. So let's give you 4 themes. And then there's a 5th theme of transformation and rebirth that we haven't really delved into yet, but I trust that it will be revealed as we move through this reading. By the way, I want to mention that this tarot deck was sent to us by an artist named Katerina. So thank you very much for sharing your beautiful work with us. I just have the major arcana for now, but it's going to be a full 78 card tarot deck. So if you like this artwork and you want to support her, I'm going to have the deck linked down below so you can check it out and you can get your own copy when it's ready. Okay, let's get some oracle cards to clarify these messages. Okay, why am I getting the feeling like there may be some things about this rebirth and transformation that are not ready to be revealed? We'll see. But I'm not going to force it if it doesn't want to be revealed. You may have to just enter into 2026 and watch it unfold. We have individuality. Group 2 of this reading also got the Death card and the Individuality card. So that's quite interesting. That may be a sign for those of you who also felt drawn to group 2 to check it out as well. The death of individuality. Are some of you becoming fed up with a certain aspect of society or a certain, what is that? Like everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody is making the same thing. Where is the creativity? Where is the individuality? Are some of you kind of feeling an annoyance or even a despair like this? Everything is becoming generic and cookie cutter. We don't need more of the same. Maybe this transformation has to do with you embracing your individuality and embracing your uniqueness. Ooh, yeah, this could be the death of a version of you who was trying to conform. You're like, I've been trying for years to play the game that everyone else is playing, and it hasn't brought me any success. So I'm just going to do the complete opposite now. Like, I'm going to go all out and embrace my weirdness and do things in the unconventional way that I've always wanted to do them in. We have temptation, impulse, and betrayal. So that's kind of interesting the way they're coming out. This death person is looking away from temptation and looking towards individuality. There's a temptation to conform, maybe like for approval, for a sense of security, but you're not giving into that temptation, and you're gonna commit to being your true unique self, even if it's a bit prickly, you know, even if it's a bit prickly and pointy and weird, you're gonna commit to that. And we have allow, flow, trust, and surrender. There's like a really significant trip that you're taking in 2026. This sounds cheesy, but I feel like you're going on a trip and you find yourself. Like, I don't know, maybe you're going to a really beautiful place or a deeply spiritual place. Some of you could be solo traveling, but it feels like you're finding yourself on this adventure, and some of you could be going to multiple destinations within one trip. But yeah, the allow card was giving me that feeling for some reason. Overall, I think another theme for you in 2026 is that you're not going to be micromanaging yourself or micromanaging your schedule. You're just more going to let yourself flow and see what you gravitate towards. In fact, some of you may be going into 2026 without having like really specific goals, which may be not the norm, you know, like maybe you usually go into New Year's being like, these are the 10 goals that I have, and this is my timeline to get there. And maybe you don't really have that this year, which is actually kind of exciting. Like, let's just go into the year and see what I do and see what I achieve. It feels a bit more relaxed. It feels a bit more like you're giving yourself freedom. And you're gonna watch yourself grow in real time. And I'm gonna be so honest with you, I feel like a lot of the time when I set a bunch of goals at the start of the year, by the end of the year, I don't even care about those goals anymore. Like, even within the span of 1 year, my priorities shift and my desires shift. And like, I'll have achieved some of them. But when I look back, I'm like, I wanted to achieve that. Why? Like, why did I care about building this random habit? That doesn't interest me anymore. So yeah, you might have a bit looser resolutions or no resolutions in 2026, and that is very okay. All right. So let's take a look at specific areas of your life. We are going to look at your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. By the way, group 3, Italy could be significant for some of you because I've been looking at the initials of the oracle cards throughout the groups to see if they like spell anything or remind me of something. And they haven't so far, but ITA does remind me of Italy. So there you go. And we are going to get some oracle cards too. So there's the oracle card for your love life and relationships. For your career and studies. And for your spiritual and personal growth. So let's go ahead and reveal the messages for you, starting with your love life and relationships. Your tarot card is the Ace of Swords. And your oracle card is rough waters, conflict, obstacles, and adversity. Well, good thing the Ace of Swords talks about overcoming difficulties and a new beginning, improved communication, improved clarity. So, for those of you who have any complicated relationships, they're going to become a lot more clear and open and direct in 2026. This could be romantic or platonic. It could be family related. It could be work related. But what I'm seeing is a certain connection you have with someone where you are frequently misunderstanding each other, having miscommunications, or there's a lot of uncertainty. Like, what is this person really thinking? What is this person really feeling? What are their intentions? Or I don't really understand where I stand with this person. I don't really understand what they want from me. Any connection that has been shrouded in confusion like that, and that's been kind of frustrating, the communication is going to be improving drastically in 2026. And you're finally going to truly understand each other. For those of you who are in romantic relationships or who have romantic connections, I definitely think your communication with your partner is going to be improving. There's this message of really coming to understand and appreciate each other's love languages, each other's communication styles, finally coming to understand and appreciate how each other solves problems, processes emotions. If someone had been sort of closed off, I think they're going to be a lot more open in 2026. They're going to be a lot more vulnerable and expressing themselves in a more direct and honest way. Having a much easier time talking about what their needs and expectations are and what their intentions are so that there's no second guessing. This could be even you, like if you have found it's hard to communicate your needs in an effective way, if you have found it's hard to speak your truth and that's been affecting your relationships, I think you're going to see amazing improvements in that area. And there could also be, I'm thinking of an alternative interpretation other than like poor communication. It could be a lack of communication altogether. So maybe there's someone you have a connection with and you just don't talk to them nearly as much as you want to, nearly as frequently as you want to. Maybe you have a long distance partner or friend or family member and you just don't get in touch as much as you would like to, and you're going to be talking a lot more frequently. Maybe you have a person of interest that you barely talked to recently and you're talking a lot more in 2026. So think of this overall as you are getting the blessing of improved communication in those relationships you feel need some work in the communication department, and getting to communicate and keep in touch a lot more frequently with someone you're missing or someone you want to get closer to. That's what I'm seeing with these two cards. So let's look at your cards for your career and studies. For your tarot card, we have Judgment. For your oracle card, we have Celestial Crossing, Limitless Expansion. Okay, so there's a couple different ways I can interpret the Judgment card. One actually does have a feeling of a rebirth. I sometimes see the Judgment card having this message of something getting a second chance, going back to something from the past. So some of you could be going back to school or going back to a job that you had once left, coming back from time off. Some of you are going to be picking back up a project that you had left on the back burner, giving a certain venture another try. So this could be something like you tried it, it didn't really work out. Now you're going to give it a second chance. I also just heard third time's the charm. So for some of you, this could be like it's more than once that you are coming back to try again. Timing could have been a big factor for those of you who previously were not successful with a certain project or venture. I feel like rather than it being an issue with competency or skill or something like that, it was probably more so a timing thing. So the timing of your own life or the timing of the world and the culture around you. Some of you were maybe ahead of your time with something you were trying out, or you needed more life experience, or you needed to be a bit older and come back and try again, but something's getting another chance to finally succeed. Some of you are finally publishing something or releasing something into the world that had been hidden away. And Judgment can also talk about an evaluation, at least in KINO's readings. It can talk about, because it's like this moment of truth, you know? It's time for you to step up to the plate and show us what you've got. So in your career or in your study journey in 2026, you could be going through a very important evaluation process. So taking an exam, there could be like an important interview or audition that you're having, or again, like you're finally launching something. This is the moment of truth to see how it goes. You're receiving a review or an assessment of some kind. Like the Judgment card can give me these feelings. And then we have Celestial Crossing with Limitless Expansion. So whatever you are doing in your career, there's literally unlimited potential for growth. You could theoretically make more and more and more money as time goes by, or just keep growing it, keep scaling it. You don't have to, let me be very clear, because not everyone wants to have massive projects and a massive business. But wherever you set the limit, wherever you set the scale of how big you want to go, it seems like it's up to you. This is like the opposite of a dead-end job. And if any of you are in a career or study situation right now that you feel is aimless or dead-end, I feel like you will likely be walking away from that, and you'll be in a situation that allows you to leave it behind, and you can do something that feels more challenging and that you feel actually allows for your growth and expansion. Some of you could be musicians too, or play an instrument, whether that's your career or not, because, you know, this Judgment cat creature is playing an instrument. All right, so finally, and I just saw 2244, by the way. Let's look at your cards for your spiritual and personal growth. Wow, your tarot card is the Magician. That's pretty badass for spiritual and personal growth. And your oracle card is Edge of the World. Why is this? This is giving so much like limitless potential. You literally have the keyword limitless expansion here. You have the freaking magician who can manifest anything. And then you have Edge of the World, which again is making me think of travel, especially traveling to a faraway place. I actually have a feeling you're going to be going to multiple destinations this year. Some far away, some close by. I think there's significantly more travel and moving around in 2026 than what is normal for you. And this is going to be a beautiful process of self-discovery, especially for those of you who have spent most of your life in the same place. I think it's going to be a really beautiful experience to see other ways of living, other ways of working, how different cities or towns are structured, what is considered normal to some people, what is considered weird to some people. And being in different environments also shines light on what aspects of your personality and preference might have been just like shaped by your environment. And this is a real chance to see like what resonates with you as you find yourself in different environments. That's how it's coming through. Like, oh, I like this about this place, and I like that about the people here, and I like this about the climate here, and just kind of seeing where your body and your soul feel happy. Some of you could be really pondering about like where do I belong, or where do I want to live, or where do I want to settle down, like kind of thinking about those questions. But the possibilities are endless, which, you know, that can be a bit overwhelming, but it's also very exciting. I think you're remembering your role as the magician in your life. So really taking charge of your life and being an active creator of your life. I want to say there's a difference between allowing and just like passivity. So maybe something you're thinking about a lot as well in the context of spiritual and personal growth is what it really means to co-create with the universe, and where you personally find that balance between like making plans and taking action versus being too controlling, and where you find that balance between allowing and flowing versus being too passive. And that's really an art, you know. There's no like objective answer. It's whatever feels good and feels aligned for you. But building a closer relationship with the this sounds cheesy, a close relationship with your inner divine creator and your the part of you that manifests. The part of you that manifests and your relationship with the universe, and feeling confident in your ability to co-create is going to be a big theme of your personal growth. Traveling and figuring out what you like and what kind of lifestyle you want to have, and like where you want to live. I think that's a big theme too. I'm just getting a sense like there's certain things that maybe you just took as a given or took as normal. And it's like, oh no, that's just like from where you live. That's just a your country thing. That's just a your city thing. You don't have to live like that. You know, your work experience doesn't have to be like that. Your relationships don't have to be like that. There's a million other ways to live your life. And I think you're going to get to see that. And it's going to be very freeing. Interesting. I'm being reminded of that previous message of some of you kind of feeling sick and tired, like everything's the same, or, you know, like everybody is doing the same thing, thinking the same way. I think you are wanting to spice up your life a little bit in 2026, and I think you very much will. We have this message of leap into the unknown, calling courage and taking risks. So yeah, there's been this theme throughout all of the groups of seizing the day, or like treating every moment as something precious. So maybe this is sort of an overarching theme that's happening for the collective, but I'm definitely seeing that come up in your reading as well. So let's see what times of the year you should look out for. We're going to start with the time of the year that is going to be blessed and lucky for you. I'm not going to take all of those, but what I will say, I think that's a message that the entire year is going to be blessed for you, because we just had like an explosion of a bunch of cards. I also think rather than there being one specific moment of the year that is super blessed for you, it's like the universe is sprinkling a bunch of little blessings throughout your whole year. I think there's going to be happy and exciting things to look forward to every month, every week, maybe even every day. I think another theme of 2026 is falling in love with your everyday life, and that probably ties into this philosophy of not setting really specific long-term goals, and just maybe even you're setting goals for just shorter times rather than saying, what's my goal for 2026? Being like, what's my goal for this month? What's my goal for this week? What's my goal for today? And then just letting those add up and become your yearly accomplishments. So like not planning too rigidly, not planning too far into the future, and just being in this moment right now probably helps you to be present for the tons of little blessings that are everywhere every single day. Aw, I can see you like getting to the end of 2026 and someone asks you like, what's your best memory of the year? And you're like, all of it. Or like, there's too many to pick one. Okay, so universe, then you don't have to tell us the most blessed time, but maybe just one. What's one time of the year where a blessing's gonna come that we can know about, and what that blessing will be? We have 30. And we have 26. So in the previous groups, I've been able to pull 2 number cards and they make a date, but this is not a date. However, the universe could be saying that you're entering into a period of good luck from 2026 all the way to 2030. I know that sounds kind of dramatic, but I think literally the next 5 years for you could be very happy and very blessed. Yeah, I was like, let's look at the bottom of the deck and see if the universe will give us a time in 2026. And it literally just says Tuesday. Okay, so I guess the universe wants to keep it a surprise. And honestly, I like that for you. I won't force the universe. There's going to be a lot of blessings in 2026 for you. When specifically they happen seems to be a surprise. Something may happen on a random Tuesday. But, you could also be like committing to doing something every Tuesday in the new year. But kind of looks like the years from 2026 to 2030 are going to be super lucky and blessed for you. Let's roll some dice to see what is going to happen. We have the number 4, we have Cancer, and we have Mars. So the 4th house really fits with that message about changes and improvements coming to your living situation. So in the next 5 years, I think a lot of you are going to be moving to your ideal place. So like a country or a city that just really, really aligns with what makes your soul happiest. If this is not a specific place, this could be about living surrounded with your favorite people. This could also be about having your dream home, building or buying your dream house, getting your dream apartment, you know, getting to live in your ideal location. That's a big blessing that's coming your way. Cancer also has to do with domestic situations and the home and the living situation. So that's really, really coming through, like living in your ideal place and living in your ideal type of house. This could also be about like your ideal family, your ideal domestic life. So who do you want to live with? Do you want to have animals in your home? Do you want to have plants in your home? What do you want the layout of your home to be? What do you want your daily routine to be like? How do you want to decorate your place? Like all of that kind of stuff. You're getting very blessed in this area. Do you want to stay in one place or do you want to frequently travel? Anything that relates to the question of where do I want to be? With whom do I want to be? This is where your blessings are coming in. And then we also have the planet Mars. So I think you're going to be blessed with, first of all, manifesting powers for the next few years. What's going on? Like you're getting several years of good luck, group 3. Manifesting powers, as well as a heightened sense of motivation and drive. And I actually think maybe like you just have such a peaceful and ideal and supportive and nurturing home life that it really motivates you to work harder and be the best version of yourself. Aw, you're really, to just sum that all up, it really feels like you are building your dream life and your dream home over the next 5 years, and your dream like family situation or domestic situation. So, you know, if in 5 years you envision yourself with a spouse and 3 kids and 2 cats, like living in the pretty countryside, like that is exactly what you're manifesting. So imagine, like, what is my dream house? Who lives with me? How do we, what do you call it? Run the home, manage the home, whatever. You know what I mean. All of those dreams are coming true. Okay. And what about a challenge in 2026? What about a challenge in 2026? We have autumn. So if you are in the northern hemisphere, this will be from like basically September, October, November. If you are in the southern hemisphere, this will be March, April, May, I believe. Feel free to correct me, my southern hemisphere people. So this would be a challenging season for you in 2026. And what is happening during this time? We have the 12th house, we have Mercury, and we have Virgo. I think you may be dealing with a little bit of imposter syndrome during this time because we have the keywords on this card: maturity, growth, harvesting, and abundance. So I actually think this season of autumn in 2026 is going to be a very successful and fruitful time for you. Like maybe you're making a lot of money, or a project you were working on is being received very well. It's bringing in all the good results you want, all the positive feedback and recognition you want, but it's messing with your head with the 12th house here. Oh, okay. Okay, there's another interpretation that I'll get into after. The first one is like the success is messing with your head because of imposter syndrome. And you personally feeling like you could have done better. And maybe you could have, but there's a big difference between I can do better next time and looking forward to how you'll improve versus I didn't do good enough. My work was not good enough. So this is actually quite similar to group 2, because they got also 12th house and Virgo in this section. And you also have 2 cards here that are exactly the same as group 2. So maybe some of you need to go and watch group 2 after this, especially if you were already feeling called to it. But yeah, I guess it's like struggling with this feeling of, oh my gosh, this success I'm receiving is so big and I should just be really grateful and celebrating, and like I am, but then I have this nagging feeling in the back of my mind, like, am I really worthy of this? Am I good enough? You know, the 12th house, it's very like, it's at the back of your mind. It's kind of messing with your head. Even if your conscious mind knows it's not true, you just can't help but have that little nagging feeling. So I think that's going to be one challenge for you that sort of comes with your success and with this harvest that's happening. I am thinking about, at least in Canada and maybe in some other countries, the school year starts in autumn. And I just thought of an example of someone getting into a really, really, highly, highly respected school, like a prestigious school, maybe the best school in the country. And then once they start attending the school, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like everyone here is smarter than me. And they're just in their head, right? It's not actually based in reality. But they start to get in their head and think, oh my gosh, everybody here is so much smarter than me. Everybody deserves to be here so much more than I do. Everybody must be thinking like, what is that person doing here? They shouldn't be here. Just like that sneaky little voice in the back of your head that likes to tell you these stories. I feel like that's going to accompany some big opportunity or some big success that you're getting. And so it will be kind of like a mental challenge to overcome that and to recognize that that voice is lying to you. And then the other interpretation that was coming through, again, it's that something you did or something you made is becoming very, very successful and gaining a lot of recognition. But in some way, like people are celebrating it and celebrating you, but they're kind of like misunderstanding what the original vision or misunderstanding your original intention. So let's say this will be especially with like something you wrote, I think, with Mercury, like a message you were trying to convey. So, let's say, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of that episode of Black Mirror. What was that episode? I just finished filming your reading and I went to look up the scene because I was having a hard time remembering it, but it's that the protagonist goes on like a reality TV talent show, but then when he gets up on the stage for his audition, he starts talking about how like this is all so fake. You guys don't really see people up here. This is all just like fake fodder, and he goes on this kind of impassioned speech and is making some really valid points. But then when he's finished, the judges are just like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. We're going to give you your own TV show. So it just like completely goes over their heads. Yeah, okay, back to the reading. So I don't know, it's like maybe you wrote a book, you wrote a song, and people are like, oh my God, we love it. But they're only interacting with it in a surface level way, or they're not really understanding the main point you were trying to say with it. Maybe there was some deeper thing or some commentary that you were trying to get at, and people just like aren't getting it. And it's a complicated way to feel, because I imagine on one hand, you're very grateful that people are engaging with your work and celebrating it and celebrating you, but then also some things maybe not clicking with the way they're interpreting it. You're like, oh no, that's not like, oh no, that's not what I meant. It's kind of like maybe taking you out of context or not engaging with what you're saying deep enough. And yeah, maybe that interpretation is for fewer of you, but that could be the case, like, especially if you're a creative or like a writer or a speaker. Like, oh, that's what you took from that? That's what you thought I meant? Yeah. And so that will be a challenge that has to do with like judgment, like we were talking about, releasing your stuff out into the world. Once you release your words and ideas out into the world, you can no longer control how it is consumed or how it is engaged with. And you have to kind of make peace with the fact that everyone's gonna interpret it how they want to. Like, even making these videos, you know, someone might be pissed by something I say, even though I don't have bad intentions. And I kind of have to be okay with that. Like, if someone wants to twist my words, if someone misunderstands what I'm saying, if someone doesn't like my tone, if someone doesn't like my wording, and they're like, oh, so you're saying blah, blah, blah. Like, I kind of just have to be okay with that. Like, that's what happens when you go on the internet. Like, everybody's gonna think something different about you based on their lens. There could be 1,000 people listening to the same message, but every one of those 1,000 people is hearing something different. You no longer can control how your words and ideas are received. So depending on what you're doing for work, or like if you're creative, that may be something that you have to like learn to make peace with. And also recognize that sometimes even when you re-clarify your stance, people just don't want to understand you. Like, they're committed to taking your words in a certain way. And it's not your job to make sure everybody is perceiving you in a certain way or is thinking of you in a certain way. It's literally impossible, and you will exhaust yourself trying to be concerned with that. So, yeah. Wow, that was a long message, but that's a challenge that you might be facing. And I could see that happening on an interpersonal scale too. Like, maybe there's someone in your personal life who just seems to take your words out of context or misunderstand you. Okay, let's get some advice and messages from your guides. When in doubt, ask your heart. I also heard your heart is your best friend. If you are not the same person you were last year, last month, last week, then you are on the right path. That reminds me about that message of not making really rigid plans and setting really specific goals, because it's like, I don't even know who I'm going to be next month. I don't even know who I'm going to be tomorrow. So how can I make these big plans? Maybe you're going to be dealing with people being like, you change. And you're like, yeah, I did change because I'm a living, breathing human. Like, that's what we do. Speaking of which, one of my favorite artists ever is Rosalia. And she completely changes with each project. Like, no two albums sound the same. And I love it. She gets me listening to styles that I may not otherwise listen to. We have group 1 got this one. A blockage is unprocessed emotions. And empathy is the ability to perceive the ultimate truth of oneness. It is a superpower. I feel like you're mastering some balance between having empathy and having patience for people, but also recognizing what is your problem and what is not your problem. So let's say you're dealing with someone who's kind of on their bullshit and you're like, I have empathy for you and I understand why you are that way, but leave me alone, but I'm not dealing with that kind of thing. Like, I'm not saying I hate you, I'm not saying you're a bad person, but I am not engaging with that. I think, and that can be difficult. That can be difficult, but it seems like you're reaching a certain level of mastery in that and striking that balance this year. And focusing on yourself, focusing on building your relationship with your heart. A good affirmation for you, I think, is like, it's okay if my heart changes. It's okay if my mind changes. In fact, I would be more concerned if I was stagnating. Because yeah, I think movement and change is a strong theme for you in 2026 as well. And okay, the messages suddenly stopped. So I think those are all of the messages. I think my guide said wrap it up. So thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. And I hope you have a wonderful year of 2026. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making my 2025 so lovely. And please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. We also have full-length pick-a-card readings that are exclusive to the memberships. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Trolleite, this is going to be a reading all about your year of 2026. So here is the little breakdown that I made for today's reading. It's sort of similar to the monthly prediction readings that we do, but with more steps because this one's for a whole year. So we're gonna start by seeing 3 main themes, significant events or changes that are coming your way in 2026. Then we're going to look into specific areas of your life. So we'll take a look at your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. We will see what time of the year is going to be the most blessed or the luckiest for you, as well as what time of the year could be particularly challenging for you, and we'll see why, like what is happening around these different times of the year. And then we are going to finish off with advice and messages from your guides as you prepare to step into this new year. So that's how the reading is going to go today. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, whether you are just coming across my channel now, or you've been watching my readings throughout 2025, or maybe even for longer than that. I'm just really grateful to have you here, and thank you for making this year so wonderful for me. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're gonna start with some major arcana, and these are gonna show us the 3 themes. Now, it may actually be more than 3, judging how the previous groups went. But I'm going to pull 3 cards and we'll see what themes come up for you. I'm seeing a hoodie in my mind's eye, and I don't even know, something about someone's favorite hoodie. Some of you could be designing clothes or changing your wardrobe. Okay, we have the moon. We have the star. I'm also hearing something about an iconic collaboration, but it could be a collaboration between you and someone else that is iconic that you're doing in 2026, or it could be that two of your favorite people are collaborating. Like, for example, two of your favorite brands, two of your favorite artists. Like there's some kind of tie-up, I think is the word, or some kind of crossover or collaboration that is just really iconic for you and you're very excited about it. Okay, and we have the sun. Isn't that cool? The moon, the star, and the sun, all of the celestial bodies. I actually have 3 pairs of socks that are the moon, the star, and the sun. And these are cards number 17, 18, 19. So those numbers could be significant for you. I wonder if I look at these in order, the moon going to the sun, 2026 for some of you could be a light at the end of the tunnel kind of year, especially for those of you who have been going through a dark time and maybe wondering if there's hope for the future. This year, 2026, could be the year where that hope comes back and the energy is getting lighter again. You are feeling happy again, feeling like yourself again, overcoming the difficulties that you're facing. This is the vibe that I'm getting, especially with the order that they came out, because the moon represents this stage where we're kind of fearful, kind of insecure. There's a lot of unknowns. We may be feeling kind of down, kind of just foggy, not having direction. We don't know what's in our future. The star represents having hope and faith for the future. And then the sun represents a bright and happy and carefree time. So if I look at these in order, this could literally be showing your journey out of the darkness, out of the tunnel, and into the light. Some of you may be coming out of a dark night of the soul. I just feel like the clouds are clearing. I'll put it that way very simply. In 2026, the clouds are clearing, and there is happiness waiting for you on the horizon. When the moon card came out, I thought to myself, okay, my group number 4s, you are really getting in touch with your intuition and getting in touch with your spiritual side. You are building your own personal relationship with spirit. You may find that in 2026, you rely less on other people, or you rely less on things in the outside world to communicate with spirit, because you find that you can just do it directly from inside yourself. You may even find that you don't really need a lot of signs anymore. You can just kind of confirm things yourself. So it seems like you're very in touch with your internal guidance system. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with looking outside of you for signs and synchronicities and confirmations. We do it all the time. But your inner system is so finely tuned that you find you're not relying on the outside as much, is how I can put it. I also sometimes feel with the moon this kind of night owl energy. So, and in this case, it feels like that's because you're working on something exciting. Ooh, okay. You're either having a lot of really late nights because you're working on something you're passionate about, or you could actually be traveling for an exciting opportunity and then you're experiencing some jet lag or some irregular sleep. Feel free to claim that as well if it resonates. I think a theme for you in 2026 is going to be that you are committed to being more honest, transparent, and vulnerable with the people who are close to you, because the person in the star card is nude. They're literally showing, I'm taking it as like showing who they truly are or showing their true self. There's no disguise. There's nothing to hide behind. And so there's this feeling of, I will no longer hide the truth for the sake of like someone's comfort or someone's convenience. So I'm going to be very honest about how I feel. I'm still going to be polite and respectful and loving, of course. But for example, if I'm upset, I'm not going to be like, oh no, it's okay. I'm okay. Just because like, oh, I don't want to ruin the mood. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I'll be like, actually, I am kind of bothered by that. I'm not super happy with that. I was a bit upset when you said XYZ, when you did XYZ. Actually, I would prefer you didn't do that. You know, like I guess that could also be becoming more comfortable with confrontation. But it's a commitment to being honest about what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, and to be honest about what you are seeing and naming it, and not being like, oh, I'll just stay quiet so that I don't hurt someone's feelings or so that someone is uncomfortable. Like this era of betraying yourself to protect some artificial peace, I think, is over. And I think if you're with the right people in your life, they will gladly receive this newer, vulnerable version of you, and they will reciprocate that energy, because I'm sure you would want the same from the people in your life. You know, don't omit your truth to spare my feelings. Like, I can handle it. I want to know what's really going on in your mind. So I feel like this is an era of more raw and real and honest and just like transparent communication between you and the people in your life. As I'm sitting with this energy, it does seem to mainly be about close interpersonal relationships. If any of you watching this do have like an online presence, or you're more public facing, you could be showing a bit more of a vulnerable side on public platforms, but that's just if you feel comfortable doing so, of course, or maybe just showing a little bit more of your human side. For those of you who have a brand, maybe your brand is becoming more like human and vulnerable, as opposed to just really polished and aspirational. Something about this new star person, it just feels very like, this is me stripped down, this is me unfiltered, and yeah. Also, is there music playing outside? Yes, there is. It must be 4 p.m. Yeah. Anyway, so we also have the sun. I do feel like you're going to be very creative in 2026. There is that message of collaboration. There is that message of designing clothes. Maybe the clothes one is not for everybody, but shout out to my fashion designers. But you could be creating some kind of designs or creating some kind of art. Whether you are doing that professionally or just getting into it as a hobby, I do see you connecting with your artistic side, and maybe that kind of goes hand in hand with you connecting more to your spirituality. Art could be a really nice medium for you to connect to your soul and to connect to higher beings and to channel messages through your art, or your spiritual journey inspires you to create art. Like, you create art about the spiritual journey you're experiencing, if that makes sense. So they're kind of feeding into each other. And the fact that this is a unicorn on the sun card and we have a child, there could be something here as well about embracing your unique traits that you have had since childhood. And that probably ties in with getting back to your true self and not sugarcoating it and not masking it anymore. Just being really comfortable to be who you are. So these are some beautiful themes we have going on. We're going to pull some oracle cards to clarify. This deck, by the way, this was sent to us by an artist named Katerina. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful cards with us. I just have the major arcana at the moment, but it is going to ultimately be a full 78 card tarot deck. So if you like this deck, if you want to support her and eventually get your own copy of the deck when it's finished, I will have it linked down below so you can check it out. All right, let's clarify these messages. We have transformation. At least 3 of the 4 groups today have gotten a message about transformation. Rebirth, change, paradigm shift. We have love. Ooh, okay, this is giving the feeling of a transformative love. A love that inspires you to radically accept yourself. Someone who loves you exactly as you are. Oh my gosh, and lovers. You literally have love and lovers. So needless to say, love is going to be a very important theme for you in 2026. We have the keywords universal, unconditional love, and source. We also have divine counterpart, chemistry, and partnership. Okay, so we're definitely going to be hearing about an important relationship in this reading. One that is deeply transformative, perhaps even one that ties into your creative exploration, your spiritual journey, your self-discovery. Unicorns, butterflies, swans could be significant symbols. I'm also noticing that every person illustrated here has their hair in a ponytail. I don't know if that's significant to someone, but I just thought I would mention it. There could be someone coming in who mirrors you. Okay, let's pull some cards for the specific areas of your life. So this will be your card for love, life, and relationships, for career and studies, and for spiritual and personal growth. We're gonna get some oracle cards as well. Okay, love, life, and relationships. Career and studies. And spiritual and personal growth. Wow, I was just thinking to myself, feels like there's something you've been wanting to say for a long time. Something you've been wanting to tell someone for a long time. 2026 is the year that you finally say it. And just as I was getting ready to say that, Yumi started barking. So that definitely seems like a confirmation. Maybe you're finally going to tell someone you have feelings for them. Finally tell someone you love them. You're gonna finally stand up for yourself and say like, no, say, stop that pisses me off. You know, it could be so many different things. There's a feeling of once you say it, it feels more true. As long as you don't say it, you can kind of pretend it's not true. So it feels like once I say it, the cat's out of the bag. And we wouldn't be able to go back to how things are. We couldn't be like, oh, never mind. Let's pretend I didn't say that. Once I say how I really feel, it is gonna change things. But it's too uncomfortable to hold it in. I have to say it. Okay. So let's look at the cards for your love life and relationships. That noise, by the way, Yumi's making a nest behind me with my fleece. She's like arranging it into a nest so she can lie down in it. So that's what you're hearing. She's making herself comfortable. We have the Knight of Cups. Yup. Group number 1 actually got this exact card in this exact location. So if any of you were drawn to group 1, might be your sign to check that one out as well. But I mean, come on. We have love and lovers, and then in the love life section, the Knight of Cups. Someone's coming into your life. A love is coming into your life or coming back into your life. So if you are single, this will be the year where you enter into a committed relationship with a divine counterpart. I actually want to specify for my group number 4 is that if you do have a person of interest or someone whom you feel a spiritual bond with, this will be the year that you get closer. This will be the year that things advance. Especially if you've been in a stagnant situation with a divine counterpart, this is a year that things start advancing slowly but surely. Your guides are saying the way this connection advances, it's like a snowball. So, when something snowballs, it gets exponentially bigger, but the snowball is still small. So there will be progress this year, but it's still small progress, but it gets exponentially bigger and gains more and more momentum as time passes. I heard something like, you've taken a lot of time to get to know each other's souls. Now you will take your time to get to know each other's human selves. Okay. So for your oracle, For your oracle card, we have magnetic. These images look very similar. The two swans coming together, and these swans have a purplish hue to them, and these people who are cloaked also have a purplish hue to them. So that's very interesting. That could be indicative of a psychic connection, because I'm thinking of the color purple's association with the crown chakra. And this light bulb between the two of you. Yeah, this does feel like some kind of telepathy situation going on. You could have some very interesting synastry with this counterpart because of the zodiac wheel we see in the background. And I'm also noticing the music. So music could be significant. It could be a way that you connect. If you are a musician, you might like collaborate with this person, because I'm just thinking of that message about the iconic collaboration. Or you have the same like favorite musicians. That could even be how you meet. Like maybe you meet at a music festival or at a concert, or I just heard a listening party. Sure, something like that. Mutual attraction, chemistry, and compatibility. In general, with these two cards here, I do feel like you will be surrounded more so by sensitive souls in the year of 2026. So your friends, your peers, your collaborators, and yes, perhaps your romantic interest seem to be the artist types or the spiritual types, the sensitive types, the intuitive types, the dreamers, the romantics. It's giving very Piscean vibes, but water energy in general, I'm feeling. Yeah, that's what's coming through at the moment. For your career and studies, we have another knight, the Knight of Wands. Ooh, okay, so you're gaining a ton of confidence in your career this year. If you have been experiencing either self-doubt or uncertainty or indecision regarding your career or study path, or all of the above, I feel like this is the year where you become very confident about the direction you're headed in. You know that where you're headed, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to be good at it. You could be finding something you're passionate about or rediscovering an old passion. And okay, this is a really specific message, but you are having a very big achievement that is not based in numbers, okay? So it's not like, I got this % on an exam, or I don't know, I reached a X day streak of doing something perfectly. It's not like that. It's a more personal and more emotional milestone. Like, I don't know, I was able to finish this without beating myself up. I was able to rebuild and mend my relationship to this hobby I used to enjoy. I was able to rekindle my passion. I was able to do something just for fun without thinking about productivity or monetizing it. You know, it feels more like mental, emotional, or spiritual progress that is very meaningful to you, even if it's not like objectively measurable. I think, yeah, there is something about you repairing your relationship to something, repairing your relationship to a hobby, or could be to money, like being able to enjoy money, repairing your relationship to productivity or schooling in general, or even a certain field or industry that you had a bad experience in. You're regaining your confidence after a shaky time. It's like your confidence is back, your spark is back, and you have a better relationship with a certain career path or study path. For some of you, this could be being able to engage in your work or in your creative process without identifying too strongly with it, without losing yourself in it. Like if your work became your whole identity, or even when you're not working, you can't stop thinking about it. That's like you're kind of getting lost in it. You're losing yourself in it. So for some of you, this is building up your sense of self, that you're able to engage with your work or studies in a healthy way. That, one mistake is not going to make you spiral into self-doubt. That one bad result is not going to ruin your whole day or ruin your whole week. It's like you have a healthier relationship with the work that you're doing. I hope that makes sense. And then, also, I feel like you are working with some of your best friends, or the people who are your coworkers or collaborators. You just really, really like them as people. And so it feels like you're just having fun with friends. We have diamond moth. Okay. Hidden path unlocks. Moths could be another significant animal or symbol for you. A hidden path in your career is unlocking an opportunity that you don't know about yet. I don't know. Are we going to uncover what that is, or is it just a surprise? Well, your confidence that you're building up maybe allows you to see opportunities where you once didn't see anything. You see doors open now where you once saw them closed, and it's just because of a mindset shift. It's just because of the confidence that you feel now. You're more likely to assertively seize opportunities or create your own opportunities. It's like you're unlocking a new timeline that is more fruitful, that is more abundant because of a newfound confidence and optimism. And I love that this oracle card is green themed, because that is the color of money in a lot of places, I think. Okay. And let's look at your cards for spiritual and personal growth. Oh my gosh, they're all knights. Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. Sad for the Knight of Pentacles. I guess he wasn't invited today, but all of the cards being knights is crazy. Anyway, we have the Knight of Swords and we have halfway point. Meet in the middle. Compromise, common ground, reconciliation. 2626 as I'm holding up this card. So that's very interesting, because both of those numbers can talk about balance and harmony and reciprocity. They can talk about love and relationships. So this personal growth that you're going through, it's likely not just happening on an individual level, but you're growing with the people in your life. We kind of talked about this a little bit in your reading already, but I do think your interpersonal relationships are really thriving in 2026. Oh my gosh, I just realized I saw 2626 and the year is 2026. Oh my gosh, and we have a 26 here also on this diamond moth card, and we have a 27 card here. So the blessings that are coming your way in 2026 are likely to continue into 2027 as well. Okay, so we're going to be blessed for at least the next 2 years. And yeah, your interpersonal relationships are really thriving. And I feel like this message of compromise, common ground, reconciliation, meet in the middle, it's really a confirmation that when you commit to being more vulnerable, more authentic, and more transparent in your relationships, that the people in your life are going to reciprocate that. They're going to start opening up to you more and being more honest and sharing with you more as well. So your existing relationships and friendships, I think, are going to become closer. The bond is going to deepen. Again, we see two people together on this card. So, I mean, these aren't people, these are swans, but they can be people. They really seem to be confirming a divine counterpart relationship. And if you're wondering, am I going to make a move towards them or are they going to make a move towards me? You are probably going to meet in the middle. In other words, it's likely that spirit is just going to put the two of you together. So it's not like you have to go looking for them or they have to come looking for you. You will just be going about your journeys and bump into each other and find each other. So there must be some common space that you would both occupy, a common interest, a common social circle, a common activity, a shared physical environment, because there's this feeling of you don't have to go looking for each other. You will just so happen to find each other as you are naturally living your life. And that makes me think that probably at the time you are watching this, they are not that far away. What does that mean? I was just looking at the direction that the knights are facing in, like a left, right, left, but I don't know why that would be relevant. Maybe you were going in a certain direction and then you were like, never mind. And then you're like, no, wait, I am going to do it. So it's like you make a decision, you second guess, and then you recommit. I don't know. Maybe that message is just for like one person, but maybe you have to go back because you forgot something. I'm thinking about when you leave your house and then you're like, oh shit, I forgot something. And you go home and then you leave your house again. So there's 3 steps to the journey: forward, backward, forward. And that's part of the journey. It doesn't mean you went the wrong way. Feel free to ignore me if you're like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, Kino. Because again, maybe that's just like one person needed to hear that, but the direction of the knights here just jumped out at me. So anyway, that was a huge tangent. Your spiritual and personal growth, I think, largely has to do with this growth that you're experiencing with being comfortable showing your true self and seeing how that improves your interpersonal relationships. I also think you are getting better at saying things in the moment rather than saying it later. So when something is upsetting you, you can say that right in the moment and put a stop to it rather than just, accepting the bad treatment or accepting the violated boundary and then after the fact being like, by the way, I didn't like when you did that, or by the way, I was upset back then. You realize, like, if I say something now, I can actually change the outcome. And there was something with that message about unfiltered or impulsive. So when you're first doing this, you might feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being so impulsive. I'm just blurting things out. I'm being reactive. Sometimes we'll say like, think before you speak, think before you act. But I actually think for you, there's a practice of saying what you felt in that very moment in a spontaneous way without overly editing it, without overly modifying it. Like just flowing, letting the words come out as you think of them. So it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be polished, but it's raw and it's vulnerable. And that's what your loved ones want from you. Okay. So let's get into, I had to think about what's next, the times of the year that will be significant. We're going to start with the time of the year that will be blessed and lucky for you. What is going to be a blessed and lucky time of the year for my group number 4s. We have, hard to say. Maybe it's a surprise. We all want answers, but this situation is yet to be determined and timing is unknown. Okay, so we either don't know when the blessing is coming or it's a surprise. But let's roll some dice. Yeah, this means like unknown or not known yet. We have the number 6, we have the sign of Virgo, and we have the South Node. Interesting because the South Node is actually in Virgo right now, and it will remain in Virgo until, I want to say July 20 something. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe something's going to happen while the South Node is still in Virgo. But I think what your guides are trying to say here is the 6th house has to do with just like your daily tasks, your routine. So they're saying, don't worry about the timing. Just go about your life. Just go about your routine. And with the South Node here, there could be a blessing that's coming back from the past. If you're like hearing this and you're like, no, I want nothing to do with anything from my past, don't worry about it. Just let that message roll off. But for example, like if you lost something and you want it back, the blessing could be that it's coming back. Retrieving that message came out in a reading I was filming recently, like retrieving something you thought was lost. Interesting. Let me know if you got that message multiple times. But yeah, I think your guides are saying you don't have to worry about when this is coming. It's already destined for you, but maybe the timing is not set in stone. There could be multiple different windows that it could come in, but you don't have to worry about being in the wrong place, because I also feel like there's multiple places, multiple times, multiple ways that it can find you, and you're not the one who has to worry about that. I think it's like literally spirit who is orchestrating it. And I don't think you have to do anything new or drastic or unfamiliar to receive this blessing. So I wonder if this is talking about your union with your counterpart, because we did have that message about you don't have to go looking for them. Like you're just going to pop up in each other's lives. And that's reminding me very much of this energy. It's like, just do what you always do. Just do your usual routine and this blessing will just pop up. So this blessing too, I will say, it doesn't feel like something you work towards and earn. You know, like a relationship, for example, you don't earn a relationship. You don't earn a soulmate. They just appear. They just appear in your life and the rest is history. So it's probably something like that. They're being secretive, I see. That's okay. What about a time of the year that could be particularly challenging for you? We have the number 19. And we have the number 9. So if I put these together to make a date, this would be September 19th. That's obviously really specific, but it could be like the middle of September or the second half of September. That is going to be particularly challenging. So let's see what comes through here. What's happening around this time and why is it challenging? We have the 7th house. So it is something in, something in the relationships department, and then we have Mercury. So it's about communication in relationships, and then we have Scorpio, which gives feelings of vulnerability, intimacy, sharing secrets, sharing something that was once hidden. So maybe this has to do with saying that thing that's been on your chest for a long time. Like maybe it's around this time that you're going to tell someone how you really feel, or you're going to confront someone, or there's a chance to be more honest, more intimate. So it's challenging, but it's a blessing. It's a chance to face a fear. It's a chance to get closer with a loved one. It's hard, but it's worth it. Lots of relationship themes in this one. Okay, so finally, we are going to pull some cards to get, the last card doesn't want to come off the table. Okay. Some advice and messages from your guides as you move into this new year. Woo! Did you see that? Did you see how that like whoosh, flew across the table? And it's two that came out at the same time. Feel the peace behind the noise. And follow your heart, take the risk. Interesting. There may be opportunities this year as well to learn how to center yourself and calm nerves and anxiety. I just heard nerves of steel, which I don't know if that's an actual expression, maybe it is, but the way I imagined it is someone who can stay calm in any situation. So I think that muscle of yours is going to be worked in 2026 such that you can really remain calm and focused and present in, why do I want to say a myriad of situations. So again, this could have to do with like being honest with people, or some opportunity that you're receiving because you came through as the Knight of Wands in your career, which does give the feeling of boldly diving headfirst into new challenges, new adventures, assertively seizing opportunities, assertively seeking chances to level up. And so it would make sense that you're going to do some things that make you nervous, some things that stretch your comfort zone. And it's like, oh my gosh, am I going to succeed? Am I going to be able to do it? So you're getting better at taking risks, especially, and I think framing it this way is good. No matter what the outcome is, I know that this experience is going to lead to my growth. That's why your guides were emphasizing goals and milestones that are not based in numbers. And so I would add to that goals that are not based in outcomes. So like, let's say you went to an audition, that in itself is the goal. Like, I'm proud of myself because I did that. So it actually doesn't matter if I get the part or not. I'm proud of myself for showing up. I'm proud of myself for giving myself a chance. And in practicing for this audition, I gained a lot of skills. In practicing for this audition, I gained a lot of confidence. And I can take that with me regardless of what the end outcome is. So I think you're changing a little bit your mindset in the sense of measuring your success by the skills and the strengths that you gain and how you grow and develop, rather than what the world hands to you, or rather than how you score or how you rank. Like that cannot define you, and that cannot define your growth. So framing things like that might really ease your nerves. Like, my goal is to enjoy myself. My goal is to learn something. Woo, okay. We have, even the tiniest drop creates ripples. One of them just fell on the floor, so we're definitely gonna take that. We have know yourself. Oh, know yourself and you will love yourself. And the one that fell on the floor is, oh, you got this. Look at this. Follow your heart, take the risk, you got this. Even the tiniest drop creates ripples. Okay, a piece of advice from your guides is celebrate your small wins, celebrate your small victories. Don't wait for the world to give you permission to be proud of yourself. Don't wait for the world to give you permission to celebrate yourself. Do it all the time. Don't give the world permission to determine what is worthy of celebration and what isn't. There was another group that got this card, and I was talking about like progress is progress no matter how small. So that could be a message for you as well. Know yourself and you will love yourself. To know you is to love you. I think that this year you're getting to see yourself more accurately. So this overly critical lens that you may have seen yourself through is breaking. You're going to see yourself in a more positive light, in a more forgiving light, and in a way that is more aligned with how others see you. And I'm thinking about that mirroring message because I feel like there is another soul, a counterpart who, it's like they're a mirror that shows you all of your most lovely traits. And a true mirror, I just saw 4444 when I said a true mirror. Okay. A true mirror that melts away this like false, very harsh, judgmental lens that you've maybe seen yourself through in the past. Yeah. So I think that is everything for my group 4s. I just had a really vivid feeling of like being in a coffee shop. Okay. Sure. Are you meeting someone important in a coffee shop? Are you finding a new favorite coffee shop? Do you work at a coffee shop? Do you just really like coffee? Are you finding an ideal coffee shop to do work at? Because that's my dream. I don't have really a nice little cafe near my house. I would totally go if there was one, but seems like there isn't. Also bakery. We need a good bakery in this area. Anyway, enough about me. Thank you guys for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I hope you have an amazing year of 2026, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch full-length pick-a-card readings that are exclusive to the memberships. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. Thank you for making 2025 such a great year. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate your support, and I'm sending so much love to you, anyone who appeared in this reading, your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.